Hello everybody, it is Ouroboros Build today. Today's not a build video, today is a specialization explanation. Since I did all the talents and I did all the exotics, I haven't done the specializations, which is a very important part of builds. And so today I will be explaining it to you. Each specialization has a role in every single build. Um, they all have unique things, so I will be going through every single one of them. And telling you what's good about it and what type of build it can orientate around. So we'll start with the Firewall. So the Firewall has a very powerful specialization weapon, which is a flamethrower. That is pretty powerful, and I really enjoy it. And its special attachment is a grip that gives you 10% critical hit damage, which isn't that great. It's good, but it isn't that great. So most grips and most like underbarrels, this gives me 10% crit chance. I mean, if I, yeah, let's see. I need an AR. I need an AR. Okay, here we go. So it gives most grips give 5% crit hit damage, or sides or muzzles they give 5%, which makes no sense when you can have 5% critical hit chance, which is just better for the build itself. So this just evens it out to what a 5% critical hit chance would be, but then you still have the small laser pointer from the demolitionist, which is just strictly better. So I don't understand the point of it, but it exists. For builds with like SMGs or something that you overcrit on, you could put that attachment on to get a little bit more crit damage. So Firewall is a very close range specialization. It gives you extra burn duration, which is both good for skill builds and for your flamethrower. Of flame turret if you're fire focused. It gives you some health on cure. The best part about it is its healing kits. It's reduced in PvP. Remember that it's 50% in PvP. The healing kit lets you regen a lot and be very aggressive with it. The special buff is allies deal 10% damage to enemies within 10 meters of you, which is amazing for PvP and PvE. So this is a frontline build. So if you're using the Firewall, you're either using it for a fire skill build, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend too much, or you're using it for its close range buff of and powerfulness that this build gives you. And also breaks in PvE, like it burns everybody around you. So the reason I say it's also close range is the striker shield. It amplifies damage to enemies within a couple meters of you, and it's very nice. If it's like 13%. If you have the correct mods, you get 13% for every enemy in front of you, which could increase your damage by a lot. So this is a very close range build. You want to use this mostly with SMGs or like ARs or shotguns, because that's the only thing compatible with the shields. You can also use it with a rifle, but you don't really want to be using it with a rifle close range. So the way I have set it up, shotguns, assault rifles, and SMGs. You can use it with a pistol, but eh, I wouldn't recommend it. So the next thing is the gunner. The gunner it isn't a good set, I would say. So it gives you a minigun for its signature. It's interesting. It gives you some armor back every time you shoot somebody. It's not that good though. Killing enemies gives you 10% armor. You reload faster every third reload. It's not that great. This kit's decent in PvP, but it's still not that great. 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. That's pretty good, but I would rather use other things. Now, the best part about this is, especially for PvP, is the Banshee Pulse. The Banshee Pulse is ridiculous in how it stuns people and how fast you can get it off. It's a stone cold stunner, some people like to call it. Every 10 seconds, your teammates regenerate 5% ammo. You know, weapon handling increased, and then if you kill somebody, you get like a fast fire rate. the only takeaway from this for this specialization is its Banshee pulse and the armor kit. Those are the best parts about it. So it has like a little chain link which just gives it like extra ammo for LMGs. It isn't that great. So this specialization I would say is very bad unless you're trying to use it for PvP for the Banshee pulse and the armor kit. Besides that, it's no good. I would recommend you staying away from it for making builds. No good. Technician. Technician's one of the most overused specializations. It is so overused because it's linked laser pointer. Basically, the pointer just makes people post, which activates your Kingmaker and your closest chest piece, and for spotter damage. It's good. It's good. I understand. It's good for DPS. However, a team with actual builds for team benefit would out DPS a technician build every single time. Every single time, without a question. It was a team full of people with correct builds to benefit their teammates will out DPS for people with technician every single time. So technician is a multi-class, I would say, because it does benefit from skill a lot because it gives you a skill tier, makes your damage for robots and skills better, heals your skills, gives you an artificial, gives you extra skill damage or skill healing. It's very good. It's very good. So the only downside about this is it gives you no team buff. So the only team buff it gives you is right here. Party members within 5 minutes of your deploy skill again, and the certain skills are immune to shock and disruption. It is cool. It is cool. However, it gives you no team buff like a Firewall. 10% total damage, to close range people is good. But yeah, you could use the ignition of any gun. You could use it with a bunch of skills. It is very nice for closing the gap from skill tier 5 to skill tier 6 and still giving you max damage. It is very effective for like a Kingmaker build for killing Black Tusk. That's why I use it a lot with my Kingmaker. See, you use it with a build like this. You can put a Hollow Man's mask on for the extra 10% health damage. I don't have one more crit chance or crit damage, unfortunately. I'm still looking for it. Just to do more damage to, Black Tusk units is how I use mine. So that's how I would use the Technician. Technician's a very good set. It's just very overused when people could make other options to it. A lot of people sometimes use it for the passive one skill tier, and they're really messing up on what they could be doing with the build. This is why I'm making this video, because a lot of people just run Technician because they don't choose anything better to use. Demolitionist. Demolitionist is one of my favorites. This thing is very good. Its signature weapon's very good. It's like a grenade launcher. You can shoot it very fast, and it's very effective for killing multiple units. So, one of my favorite parts about this is it increases burn resistance by 20%. This is amazing for hazard builds, for PvP and PvE. That 20% burn resistance has saved my lives more times than I could count. I use it with my Hackstep Protocol build right here, and as you can see, my burn resistance compared to everything else is at 10%. My burn resistance is at 30%. This allows me to survive sticky bombs so much other times with this gear set. I pop my kit, I survive the sticky bomb, I kill the sticky bomb user, and they get upset while I'm still alive. That's because Demolitionist with that 20% burn resistance, amazing, absolutely amazing. Also, the armor kit used to be very good, but it kind of got nerfed a little bit. So armor kits repair are 100% and boost weapon handling by 30% for 15 seconds. That's okay. Nothing special. And then you get 10% increased explosive damage. So with Demolitionist has a very unique skill. And this skill is amazing for both skill builds and hybrid builds, really. So its artillery is the hardest hitting skill in the game, and it hits a lot and it's very good in PvE and very devastating in PvP. It is amazing. So you can use demolitionist for a hazard build, which I use it. So here is one of my hazard builds down here. Let's see if I can find it. Here's one. Uh, I think I deleted the other one because it's just too much. It's too much. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that one. So yeah, hazard build, a PvP build that's good because for one thing, group members they gain 5% damage to targets out of cover. So it's basically a Fox's Prayers because Fox's Prayers gives you damage to out of cover, and Demolitionist also gives you that, which is also very very nice. Also, you could ignore one explosion in PvP and non-normalized DZ, so occupied, and it gives you all your main ammo, or all your ammo for your guns when your armor breaks. So you could use this build for a lot of things: hazard, PvP builds, skill builds, a team buff build. I like its laser pointer because its laser pointer, if you look at it for another gun, so for an SMG or for anything, right? So the max you get is 5%, but then if you go with 7%, you get 1% extra, well 2% extra, but 1% extra from a gear piece. I mean, or from like a actual, attribute. So you see that you're going to get 6% from an actual chest plate that's max rolled or any other piece. The the specialization buff gives you an extra 1% from it, which can make you go over crit very easily, or get you to max crit. It's just a little bit extra of a benefit to your builds that you can make, and it helps out a lot. I've used demolitionist to clear the gap from 58% to 60%, or from like 50% to 52%. It is very nice. The extra 2% goes a long way in terms of damage and damage numbers. It is very good. So this is one of my favorite specializations because it's very versatile and it's very useful in making builds, especially for AR builds, because AR is very hard to get crit chance for AR, man. Like, is is very hard. So for now it's at 38%. Then I'm like, oh shit, man, give me the laser pointer. 45%. It already looks much better just by adding that. It's very helpful for ARs, man, because ARs are just very annoying to get to max crit. So next is Survivalist. Survivalist is a very good one for team buffs only, or healer. So this is the best healer um, specialization you can have because it has 50% outgoing healing, which is to everybody but yourself. It's got some protection from elites, and your armor kit applies to all your team members within 20 meters for 5 seconds. So it is very very nice. Its outgoing healing makes it way better than Technician. Technician gives you some healing, right? Which is 10% skill healing, which is a completely different stat than outgoing healing. So you can get a lot of skill healing, or so repair of skills is another way to refer it. Repair of skills on your pieces, but outgoing healing is on top of everything. So it's kind of like amplifies it instead of just adds to it. So outgoing healing is way better. It's got a little Mender Seeker drone, but it's shit. I don't like it. It's just one of the worst ones in the game. Its crossbow is like the hardest hitting specialization. You see right there at 4 million. This thing hits hard. Hits hard. You hit somebody with it, they're going down. Especially in PvP, they go down. It's got a magazine, but I think it's like 30% reload, man. It is so bad. Here, the 30% optimal range. Yeah, it's just so bad. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they gave us that. So the best part about this for PvP and for PvE is group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effects. So as long as they're bleeding, blind, stunned, disrupted, anything at all, they get so much more damage taken to them. So much more damage. And it's nice. You get some skill haste and cover, which is very good for healers. And you get some ammo from cover to cover, which I've used a lot back in the day. Back when ammo was annoying to get before the watch levels. Yeah. So survivors is very good for PvP and for PvE. Just it doesn't give you much of a bonus, but it gives your teammates more of a bonus if you want to think about it like that. Sharpshooter. I love sharpshooter because I use a lot of rifles and stuff. Sharpshooter is so good. You don't really see too many sharpshooters out there. I don't know why, because I think a lot of people just like SMGs and ARs in this game. But you gotta give sharpshooters a chance. It's got a digital scope, which is very good. So if you look at a sniper, its digital scope gives you 45% headshot at the cost of 5% critical hit damage, which 45% headshot is very good for like rifles instead of snipers, because snipers already have a lot of headshot damage. You can still add more to it, of course, and they'll still do a lot of damage, but I would consider it more beneficial for rifles. There's also another scope like this one, which 35% headshot and 10% reload, which I would preferably use instead to still keep the critical hit damage. But you could use anything. There's also this normal one, which is 30% headshot damage with no reload reduction, but I don't mind the reload reduction. But if you want, this is a little bit of a trade-off, which I don't really like and appreciate it, because no other one gives you a trade-off like this, which is kind of very annoying. But it exists if you want to focus on headshot damage. So what you want to prioritize is snipers and rifles, of course, and any other gun you want to use with this. Its specialization weapon is amazing. So if you compare the specialization weapon, it does 1.9 million, but compared to my Nemesis, which does 1.6 million. Well, here, let me put a sniper build on actually to properly show you the difference of it. So the difference between this thing and my Nemesis is like very, very small difference. So if you look at it, my Nemesis is at 2.5 million, and the TAC 50k is at 2.6 million, just barely. Of course, to be fair, it's only level 12 compared to level 20 Nemesis, but it's good enough. If you just have the TAC 50 rifle, because it shoots so much faster than the Nemesis, it is a force to be messed with. It is very disgusting. I've one shot so many people with the TAC 50 because of how its fast fire rate is amazing. So the specialization weapon is very good for the sharpshooter. It also gives you 50% headshot for rifles and marksmen, which is a lot more headshot. Like this is a very headshot focused specialization. You know, it gives you some stability, which is amazing because it's not just for the sniper. If you need a gun to be more stable, like the Bighorn, that's why I have it for AR. The Bighorn needs a lot more stability than it has already, so I've used sharpshooter builds for my Bighorn builds. Then the armor kit's very impressive for PvP. So armor kits repair 100%, remove status effects, and increase resistance to bleed, poison, and burn for 20 seconds. So any fire stickies, if they hit you and you're not running glass cannon and you get the medkit off, you're good. You are good because it removes it completely. This thing has saved my life in PvE and PvP a lot. Now, the benefit is not the best benefit compared to the other specializations. However, it does give your teammates 10% headshot damage if they're closer to the enemy than you are, which is nice, better than what Technician gives you, to be honest. You get 5% ammo, well, you get 5 maximum from rifle every 10 seconds in cover, and you get some bonus armor in cover. So, yeah, it's decent. It's definitely a very good set. Sharpshooter. So if I were to make a if I were to make like a team composition, it'll be two firewalls, one demolitionist, and a survivalist. Or one firewall, one demolitionist, one survivalist, one sharpshooter. Those are the only two builds that I would use for PvP and PvE for a proper team composition. Because if you have two firewalls, they could both benefit from the firewall link, which is why you would want two, which is deal 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. Unless you only want one and the firewall is just mainly a tank and not a DPS, then you could do the sharpshooter. Then you have the 5% from the demolitionist, which is already at 50%, but it's not 50%. It's 50% total damage, which is a lot. Then if you get them stats effective with the sharpshooter, with the survivalist, that's 25%, and then 10% extra headshot damage if you do that like that. But it is a lot of damage. I don't know how to explain it to you because the math is all fucked up. But it is a lot of extra damage, man. You could basically increase your damage by like 40% total, and it would be amazing. But that's the specializations and what they're good for. So it's up to you how you want to use them, or if you want to build a team around them. If you build a team around the specializations and team management, you're gonna be so much more successful in this game than you are currently. Because a lot of people just run for technicians into everything, and it's not that beneficial, man. So just try it out, and you'll see why I say to do it like this. But have fun in the DZ, have fun in PvE. I'll see you later, guys.